Hello everyone again, my name is Anushka and today I'll be continuing my class of creative writing. So what are the two most important aspects of writing a story? The two most important aspects are the story's plot and the story's characters. Because a character is what makes your readers want to read more, and the plot is what happens in the story. So these are the two most important elements that you need to nail if you want to write a good story. And today what I'll be talking about is characters. I'll tell you how to write a good character, and in the end um, I'll tell you I'll make you write a good character, and let's see if I succeed. Okay, so there are a lot of characters which there are a lot of movies which we know just because of one famous character, or books which are famous for their characters. Like the Harry Potter books are famous because of Harry Potter, then Peter Pan, Hulk, Gabbar, the Beast, Charlie Chaplin, Superman, Winnie the Pooh. And these are all very famous characters. And what is it that makes them so famous? It's because how well the writer wrote them, and each one of them they have a particular trait which stands out, right? For example, if you take Hulk, it's what is the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of Hulk? It's green or anger or big. It's what defines Hulk. It's what the readers remember him by. Or if you think about Harry Potter, if you read the Harry Potter, I don't know how many of you have, but for those who know, they remember that the first thing that comes to mind when they think of Harry Potter is either wizard, magic, or that scar he has here, the triangle shaped scar. So that's what makes the character memorable. Right, so each of these characters have some trait or some physical appearance or something or the other which makes them memorable, and that is what you need to remember when you write your own character. Okay, so here we have the importance of writing a great character. The first point I think is fairly obvious. It's that the character which makes the readers recap your story or relate to your story. And for instance, if you read a story, then and if you like a particular character, then you start rooting for the character. You sometimes, even if the story is not good, people continue to read the book or see the movie just because they've fallen in love with one character. So that's how appealing a character is. If you can make the character admirable enough, then even if it's a villain, people fall in love with the character. I mean, in superhero universes or regular movies also, there are a lot of times when we are, instead of rooting for the hero, we are rooting for the villains. We fall in love with the villains more. And why is that? It's because the character villain was written so well that you cannot help but fall in love with it. That's the purpose of writing a good character, to entrance your audience, to make them wait, to make them want more, right? So the second point is no great story is complete without a great character. If you think of any great story you've ever read, it's never complete without a great character. You take Mahabharat, you take Ramayana, you take novels, you take movies, you take TV series. No great no great movie or anything which is very famous has ever been successful without a great character. And sometimes there are multiple great characters, which is wonderful, but there has to be at least one great character for the story to be successful. So here we have a few pointers on writing a great character. The first is a character's personality and his or her choices bases how you frame your story. So let's take an example. You're writing a story about a superhero, and the superhero loves kids. Okay, so in this particular scene you're writing, there are these two kids who are in peril. They are about to die, and your superhero comes by. Now, because he loves kids, he will save them, right? And the kids won't die because of the superhero. However, if in your story the superhero hates kids, then what might happen? He won't save the kids. He'll just leave them to die, and those kids will die. So, and the story might have a completely different outcome. So you have to be careful on what you decide on about the personality of your character, because the personality of your character and the choices he or she makes will define how your story will end and how your story will go. It's what forms the plot of your story. The second point is that there are some distinctive features or traits that every good character needs to have. Now, I've talked about this with you in the beginning. Let's review it. These traits can be of different types. It can be a physical trait, it can be a personality quirk, it can be a fashion sense. For physical trait, I've taken the example of Hulk, who is green and huge. And as I said, the first thing that comes to a reader's mind or a viewer's mind when he thinks of Hulk is green, huge, angry, right? Or it could be curly hair, like there are some characters which are known for their giant hair, or if you take Rapunzel, she's known for a long hair. The second point is the character could be known for being a chatterbox, like some characters on TV are known for constantly talking and talking and talking, and some characters are known for their humor, right? And the next point is fashion sense. Now, this does not mean how they whether they wear Gucci or Prada. This could mean like Red Riding Hood had a red cape, and the first thing that comes when you think of Red Riding Hood is the color red, and her cape and her dress, which is red. And a lot of cartoon characters, especially, have a particular fashion sense which helps their audience relate to them. And in the last I've written, a character's personality will decide the choices he or she makes in a story. We have already talked about this, and it's an important point, so keep this in mind. Okay, so now what I'm going to do with you is I'm going to do a character analysis of Red Riding Hood. We're going to look at different personality traits, physical traits, and basically every trait of Red Riding Hood, which makes her such a memorable character, and we are going to analyze her character. And on this page, we have Red Riding Hood standing in the middle, and there are a lot of pointers surrounding her and describing her different traits. Like she has a red hood, and she loves visiting her grandmother. She likes picking flowers, and she's a young girl. She lives in a cottage with her mother. These are all points which make the character uh, more human and relatable. Okay, let's analyze her character a little more bit in depth. Here we have two paras describing the Little Red Riding Hood's character, and I've highlighted a few points, a few key points, and I've explained them why they're important to the story. The first point that I've highlighted is the red velvet cape. I've already talked a lot about this, and that it's a unique trait. It's what the readers remember the character by. The second point I've highlighted is that she loves it so much that she refuses to take it off. Now this shows her emotional attachment to the cape, and it shows that she probably got the cape from a person she cares about a lot, and therefore she never takes it off. The third point is that she's loving and obedient. Now, why is this relevant to the story? Now, look at the yellow box. It says that being loving and obedient, she goes to visit her sick grandmother when her mother tells her to do so. Now, had she not been obedient and loving, would she have gone to the grandmother's house? No, she wouldn't have. So, this is a key point. It describes her actions and it decides the plot of the story, like I said. The last point that I've highlighted is that she's innocent and naive. Now, this is the basis on which the story was made. Had she not been innocent, had she not been naive, there would have been no story. It Now naive is an imperfection. She's not wise. She's a little bit dumb, but that's what makes the character perfect. Because human beings are not perfect. So if you make the characters perfect, then they seem fake, right? So you need to include weaknesses also in your character because that's what makes the character more real. And had she been wise, had Red Riding Hood been wise, then she would have understood what the big bad wolf was doing and she would have run away from him in the first place. And then there would have been no story. So, weaknesses are very important to form the plot of a story. It decides how your character will react and it decides how your story will go on. Okay, so you've seen the character of Red Riding Hood. Now you'll write a character of your own. Not making a story up, you're just writing a character. And maybe later on we can write a story around the character. But for now, what I want you to do is just write a basic character. And I've given you one way of writing a character. It's called character bio template. Now, a character bio template is nothing but writing down basic facts about a character, the likings of a character, the health, the background, and basically the relevant information about a character that you need. Now you need to remember one thing, that while you have to try and answer as many questions as possible, like the physical traits or the family information and everything, there will always remain some questions which you cannot answer. For example, there are some questions which you can only answer once the story is done, and there are some questions which might not be even relevant in your story. For example, if you're writing about a little girl and the character bio template says tell the job of the person, then obviously that's not relevant to your story because a little girl wouldn't have a job, right? So you need to see how the character bio template is relevant to your story and then incorporate that character bio template. And I'll show you what a character bio template is. But remember this point, that try and answer as many questions as possible, but also at the same time, there will be questions which you need to answer either at the end of the story or which you cannot answer at all because they're not relevant to your story. Okay, yeah, so I've already told you the activity of the day. You have to make the character bio template of a character, and again, your choice. The character could be a prince, a rock star, beggar, CEO, politician, stylist, fashion designer. Your choice. It could be a little girl, it could be a dragon. It's your choice. Okay, so always start with the basics. You go on to complicated things later on. First, you need to specify the name, gender, age, location. These are the basics. Again, now for example, nickname. Now maybe your character does not have a nickname, So you can cut this off in your character bio template. Okay, so the next thing we have is the physical description of a character, and I've listed the basic items that come under this, and again you can use this according to your wish. These include build, maybe the person is very slim because she's poor and she doesn't have to eat much, or maybe the person you're writing about is a wrestler, so he'll be heavily built and muscular, and it's your choice. The next point is birthmark or scars. Now, it's not necessary that every character will have a scar, but if you're talking about a soldier, then yes, then he'll have a lot of scars. The hair color, fashion sense, features like the skin tone, eye color, the voice, what does it sound like? Maybe it's gruff, maybe she's or he's a singer, so the voice is very sweet and melodious. And maybe the person has distinguished features like tattoos, maybe what people notice right away. Next thing we have is career details. Again, maybe the person doesn't have a career till now, and maybe he's excelling in his career. If he is, then you could write the job, the education background, till maybe he's got an MBA or whatever. The work ethic. Now, this is, do they hardly work or are they obsessed with work? Some people are obsessed with work and do it 24/7, but some consider that family is more important and work is not that important as compared. The next part is dream job. Maybe the person isn't happy in his current job and is looking for something else. And then career satisfaction. This is, are they happy with their jobs? Maybe they're not all happy, maybe they're somewhat happy, and maybe they're very happy. Next we have is the character health bio. Now this is a little bit different from the health bio you give at your hospitals. These include things like energy level, memory level. Energy level is basically if the character is very agile, very active, or perhaps he's very lazy, he lies on the couch every day, that's all he does. And memory level includes maybe your character is a genius like Einstein, or maybe he's just a dumb kid, or maybe he's very intelligent, but he doesn't pay attention to details like people's names or numbers. And the next thing we have is phobias. Now, phobias are very important in a story. For example, you if your character is afraid of the water, and in the story he has to overcome this fear of water to save someone he loves, then that shows character development. So you have to be sure that you think about this very carefully, and if you want you can write the phobias after some time while you're writing the story, or you can write them beforehand and then base your story upon this. Then we have the general aptitude, you have the physical strengths or the physical weaknesses, and accidents. Now, accidents are not like you stubbed your toe today or mera haath door mein aa gaya. No, these will be life-changing accidents for maybe the character when he was 5 or 6 years old. He was in a major car accident, and now he lost one foot or something. So those type of major accidents you need to think about. Or maybe the character doesn't have any major accidents till now. Then we have the character preferences. This is a list of favorites and a list of things you hate. Things your character hates, favorite food, movie, or what the person hates to do. So this is, you can play with this if, however you want. We then have the family life of a character. Family life is very important because family has a huge impact on any character. So you need to be sure that you write a good family character bio, because how you write the family of a person may influence different things. If she was, for instance, adopted and she doesn't have a parents and she had to live her life, her childhood on her own, then she might have trust issues and she might not be so confident. And so a family life often has a huge impact on the character's personality. So, and on the plot of the story. So make sure you think about this before writing it. And again, I've included a lot of things. You can trim it down. You can use it according to your wish and according to your story. You needn't include everything in this. Uh, Now, this page is the most important page in your character bio because it's the character's personality. Now, I've given you a few pointers on where you can define the personality. Now, I have missed a few points. So, if apart from this, you think of any other character's personality trait, you can include that. And if you do not want to include the ones which I have given, you can always delete them. It's your choice. I've just given a basic thing for you to start with. So that's it for the day. I'm looking forward to reading all your characters, and I'm sure I'll come across many interesting characters. And that's it. I look forward to seeing you all again. Bye.